If your dreams could really come true, what kind of life would you want to experience? I discovered the secret to the success mindset that only high achievers possess. And it dramatically boosted my ability to take action. Over the past decade, this knowledge has transformed my life in unimaginable ways. One defining trait of successful people is their ability to take action. But what drives them to be so action-oriented? The answer lies in a simple, repeatable process they follow. Just do it. Convince yourself it's easier than it seems. Remind yourself that failure is just the cost of learning. When practiced, these steps are incredibly effective. Why? Because increasing your ability to take action naturally leads to the development of skills essential for success. In other words, as you build skills, you gain confidence, improve your abilities, and become the kind of strong person who can handle just about anything. Instead of relying on luck, like winning the lottery or waiting for a miracle, you move closer to becoming a person with the ability to shape your desired reality. Adopting the mindset and habits of successful people can lead to achievements in any area of life: relationships, work, finances, or social connections. These practices are the foundation of becoming a skilled individual who creates their own success. Over time, your life outcomes tend to align with your level of expertise and effort. Hi, I'm Japanese Urban Sage. Today, we'll talk about breaking free from the passive hope for miracles and focusing on practical methods to increase your ability to take action and create the life you want. Stick around to the end, as I'll share the most important insight last. Let's begin with the first success habit: just do it. Just do it. People who take action without overthinking are sometimes perceived as less intelligent. It's common to believe that smart people meticulously calculate risks before acting. But is that true? Not quite. Why? Because at the pre-action stage, you rarely have enough information to make an informed decision. Overthinking before taking action often leads nowhere. For instance, let's consider starting an online side hustle. Some people hesitate, asking themselves, should I start? Will it be easy or hard? Am I even suited for this? These are just imaginary questions without real answers because they're based on guesswork, not experience. This is why truly smart, successful people tend to act first. They just do it to gather information. By actually starting, you uncover critical insights. How challenging it really is. Whether or not you enjoy it. With this new information, you can make a much better decision about whether to continue or pivot. Without taking that first step, all you have are empty speculations. This principle applies to relationships, too. Let's say you want to ask someone on a date. Acting on it and observing their response gives you real-world data to decide your next move. Imagining rejection or overthinking scenarios keeps you stuck in fantasy. In essence, successful people take action first, gather data, and then adjust based on reality. Their goal in acting isn't immediate success, it's to collect information. Summary: successful people act first, then reflect. Unsuccessful people overthink before acting. In your own life, start forming the habit of experimenting and gathering insights by simply trying things out. Use that information to guide your next steps. Convince yourself it's easier than it seems. Despite the logic of just do it, many of us still hesitate. Why? Because of an instinctive resistance to change known as the status quo bias. For example, you might want to earn a useful certification for work but feel daunted by the effort. It sounds too hard, or it's just too much trouble. This is your brain resisting change. That's why it's essential to trick your brain with self-suggestion. Tell yourself, it's okay, I can do it. This might actually be easy. Example, starting a blog. 15 years ago, when I first learned about blogging as a potential side hustle, I had zero tech skills. I couldn't even type properly, let alone understand terms like HTML or domain hosting. It felt overwhelming. I was on the verge of giving up, but instead, I convinced myself. It's okay, I'll figure it out. Maybe it's not as hard as it seems. With that mindset, I started. At first, I struggled and even failed at creating a blog from scratch using HTML. But then, I discovered free templates, which made it easy to launch my blog, and over time, I learned and improved. Even today, 15 years later, I don't fully understand HTML. But thanks to tools created by tech geniuses, I've managed to keep going. Example, starting on YouTube. In 2020, I decided to create YouTube videos. Again, the process felt intimidating. Video editing? It seemed far beyond my capabilities. But I repeated my self-suggestion. It's okay, I'll figure it out. This might be simpler than I think. Using beginner-friendly tools, I launched my first video and slowly built my skills. Now, I use animation software like Vine to create videos. While I still can't use advanced editing software, I've found methods that work for me. Summary. Using positive self-suggestion like "it's okay" or "this might be simple" can lower the barriers to action. Even if the task feels challenging at first, you often discover easier ways to get it done as you progress. Taking action and using simple self-suggestions are powerful tools to increase your ability to shape the life you want. In the next section, we'll discuss the third and final step, viewing failure as an investment in success. Stay tuned. Convince yourself that failure is just the cost of progress. Why do so many people hesitate to take action, even when they know it's necessary? The main reason is fear of failure. For example, you might want to start investing in stocks, but the fear of losing money holds you back. This fear of failure is a common barrier to action. However, there's a crucial point to remember: the world is always changing. What happens if you choose not to change? The answer is simple: over time, you'll fall behind and face gradual decline. Avoiding change is borrowing stability. Choosing not to act, challenge yourself, or adapt to change may seem like a way to maintain stability. But that's only true in the short term. In the long term, resisting change leads to stagnation and decline. Take saving money as an example. It might feel stable to hoard cash, but with inflation reducing the value of money, this stable choice is actually risky. As the world changes, doing nothing becomes a liability. Reframe failure as a necessary expense. To adapt to change, you must act. And with action comes the risk of failure, especially when trying something new. Lack of experience, knowledge, or skills often leads to mistakes. Here's where self-suggestion can help. Failure is just the cost of progress. Just like how businesses incur costs to grow, failure is the price you pay for personal development. Avoiding failure might protect you in the short term, but in the long run, it leads to decline. Example, trying something new to maintain stability. Currently, I'm running a YouTube channel for English-speaking audiences. In the short term, it would be easier and more efficient to grow my Japanese audience instead. But I chose to take on this new challenge. Why? Because the world keeps changing. If I don't adapt, I'll eventually fall behind. New challenges and changes aren't just about reaching higher goals. They're essential for maintaining your current position in a rapidly evolving world. Adaptation is necessary everywhere. Whether you're running a business or working a 9-to-5, embracing new skills and opportunities is essential. Companies that don't innovate eventually fail. The same is true for individuals. Even in a stable job, neglecting to adapt or learn new skills can lead to long-term problems as the world around you changes. Growth comes from embracing failure. Every new challenge brings the risk of failure. But when you remind yourself that failure is just the cost of progress, it becomes easier to take action. By embracing failure and adapting to change, you set yourself up for long-term growth and stability. When this video ends, tell yourself, failure is the cost of progress. If I don't adapt, I'll fall behind in the long run. Repeating these affirmations will reduce your fear of failure and boost your willingness to take action. The most important lesson, the role of pride in success. All of us have a natural instinct to preserve our pride. Left unchecked, this instinct can lead to a sense of superiority. I'm right. I know better. When this mindset takes over, you start to resist change. Why should someone as smart as me risk failure? This fear of being wrong or ridiculed becomes a powerful obstacle to action. The biggest barrier to action, pride. Pride is the number one reason people fail to act. Take relationships, for example. To improve at dating, you need experience. But pride can stop you from even trying. You might think, what if I get rejected? I don't want to look foolish. In the short term, avoiding failure protects your ego. But in the long term, it leaves you inexperienced and less likely to succeed. Letting go of pride unlocks action. The solution is simple but profound: let go of your pride. Adopt the mindset. It's okay to be laughed at, it means I'm learning. Humility lowers the psychological barriers to failure, making it easier to take action. This principle applies not just to relationships but to every area of life. Successful people can act boldly because they let go of pride. They embrace failure as part of the process. Overcoming pride is difficult but necessary. Letting go of pride isn't easy, it goes against our natural instincts. The desire to protect our ego often stops us from acting. But successful people overcome this instinct. That's why they act, learn, and ultimately achieve their goals. If you've ever wondered, why can't I take action? The answer is likely tied to your pride and the need to protect your ego. The power of humility. Some people might dismiss this idea, but that's often because they lack the courage to confront their own weaknesses. True humility requires strength and maturity. It's not easy, but overcoming pride leads to greater action, growth, and success. Those who avoid failure may seem confident and stable, but in the long run, they're more likely to stagnate. Key to success: overcoming pride. Make these your mantras. Let go of pride and be humble. It's okay to be laughed at, it's part of learning. When you embrace humility, you'll find it easier to take action. Over time, your experiences will help you develop greater skills and knowledge. Ultimately, your life outcomes will align with your increased expertise. Summary: pride is the biggest obstacle to action. Letting go of it allows you to take the steps needed to grow and succeed. Thank you for watching until the end. I deeply appreciate your time and attention.